are you? Because the spirit of anger is upon this person. The same way a spirit can be upon a person and make the person react at every little thing or thing that doesn't matter. It's a spirit. So the agenda of a spirit is to make the subject look and act the way the spirit wants it. So the same way spirit of poverty can enter a person's life. Spirit of poverty is not absent of money. Spirit of poverty is both mentality and attitude and character that makes a person poor, even though the person can be given 10 million, 100 million. I had the story of a particular guy probably 2-3 days ago, that the guy made 500 million at a particular business, and as at that last week, this guy had no 1,000 naira. What happened to 500 million? So the problem was not the fact that you received money or you had breakthrough. The problem is that you could not retain, you could not sustain what you have. Having a thing is one thing, sustaining what you have is another thing. Our problem in faith is not having things. Our problem is this faith is sustaining things. Having anointing is not a problem. Having relationship is not a problem. If I getting married is not a problem. Having a baby, there are all kinds of dicks and how they can have a baby. Sustaining what you have is the problem. Sitting here is not the problem, but continuity to sustain what you have is the problem. And for a person to sustain a thing, a spirit must be introduced. Is somebody following me? Because mortals, man does not have the fortitude to sustain things. It's not built in the fallen man. The fallen man does not have the capacity to retain anything. That's why you see a normal man cannot retain. You can't retain things. You can't retain relationship. We can't retain power. Even those in politics cannot retain it. You can't retain influence. Human man, the fallen man. So because of that, a spirit is introduced. Because in the economy of spirit is built a system to retain. Who is following me? In the economy of a spirit, when you look at the spirit, one of the character of spirit is the ability to retain a thing. That is why Lucifer cannot change. Somebody said, well, they should go and preach to Lucifer. Lucifer can't change because it's a spirit. So built in him is the nature to repair. It can't change. Spirit cannot change. So you can't look at a demon and say, spirit in this person, I change you. You don't change demons. You don't change them. You cast them away. So that is why to sustain grace, to sustain an ability, to sustain a dimension, to sustain a result, to sustain influence, to sustain wealth, to sustain power, to sustain speed, to sustain celebration, to sustain marriage, anything you ever want to talk about in your life, a spirit must be introduced. It now depends on the kind of spirit that is introduced to people. And for a spirit to be introduced, that is why you see that when a person go for a blood money rituals and all those things, you do